All right, and we are live. What's going on? What's going on, tribe? It's your boy KD. Ooh, excuse me. Slide this over. Back with another one. You guys smash that like button. With no further ado, we're going to get right into it. You see the title.
Is to be giving. Men are givers. And if you find that your man was once a giver and he's not anymore, the woman needs to look at herself, because you might be emasculating him, you might be pushing him, you might be showing up as ungrateful, and therefore he doesn't want to give to you. Or if the man never shows up as a giver, he might not be that interested. But let's just watch this video together. Okay, here we go. Men are givers. Complete stranger.
Boy, she got
Are you
that.
okay?
Oh, she trying to. What was that? Some throat action?
Do you want me to get you one? Right? Do you want me to go get you one? Let me go get you one. No?
She got a thick neck.
I want yours. Are you okay? Confused. Do you want more?
Man,
This is what men do. Do you want more?
Man.
I see you need something. Do you want more? Hey, have the coffee too. As soon as he takes his hand.
Okay, yeah, you get the gist, okay? I don't know what this music's copyright or not. It's Facebook. It's like the Wild West over there. They can just, it's worse than TikTok, and they don't even care. Sacrifice. I've gotten some slight, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I got to be real careful with these videos, man. That's all I'm going to say. Keep it going. You usually don't be falling fast. Yeah, you guys make sure you subscribe and follow my cousin Trey 4K. That is Trey 4K on Facebook, Trey Dawkins, and it's Trey Dawk on Facebook, and it's Trey 4K on TikTok and Trey 4K on YouTube. He's a passport bro over there in the Philippines right now with his girlfriend, living it up.
You got a way of keeping me coming back to back. I just found out the only reason that you're loving me was to get back at your ex-lover. But before you leave, usually I would never even care. Baby, I know she creeping, feel it in the air.
All right, support my cousin, y'all. Let's go. Subscribe.
What up, my boy? Yes, sir. I ain't forget you. Dap me up. Whoa, what are you doing?
Once again, to prove that there is no difference between biological females and biological males, we see this female Marine against this male Marine, and watch how it is a completely fair and equal battle.
Woo! I don't know what's up with my boy though.
See?
I don't know why he was like so ready.
Once again, to prove.
I don't know why he was so ready for the follow up. I don't know what that was. He was, man. I don't know what kind of smack she was talking, but my boy was like, "Hey, you ain't getting back up. Don't try it. Don't try."
Another creator on here told me this about men, and it changed mine. So if you're a girly who's wondering why guys aren't responding to her, stick around. A lot of times when I approach men, I don't get the response that I think I'm going to get. We'll have super good conversations and everything will go really well, and then nothing happens after. Until I started saying this one thing, and that is, I'm flirting with you. Find a way in the conversation to fit in those exact words.
I like
it can
that.
be something like, oh my goodness, I had no idea how much fun you would be when I decided to come over here and flirt with you. Or maybe, oh my goodness, flirting with you is so much more fun than I thought it was going to be. Or I'm glad I took a chance and came over here to flirt with you. I'm learning that a lot of men don't want to assume that a woman is coming on to them. And a lot of times they really don't want to make the person who they're talking to feel uncomfortable. And this can eliminate a lot of the guesswork for them.
Yes, and yes. Thank goodness there are more and more women out here that are actually listening to what men are saying. I love this approach because even though it's not quite as bold as saying, hey, I'm interested in you, here's my number.
Ladies, I'll let her cook. You definitely don't have to be as bold as to say, here's my number, but cute, feminine ways of letting a man know that you're flirting or you're interested will definitely pick up on. And if he doesn't pick up on it, then he's not worth your time, right?
is very clear, very obvious. It's not hinting, it's actually forming words and communicating that you're purposely flirting with him. I absolutely approve and agree with this.
Another creator on here told me this about men and it changed
Absolutely.
mine. So if you're a girly who's wondering why guys aren't responding to her,
it's a very direct, indirect way of getting your point across, because flirting is so casual. You could even tell them that, you know, you're crushing on them. And then that way you open the door so we can go ahead and be like, oh, you're crushing on me. Oh, what's going on? I'm crushing on you. You know, I'm glad you said, or, you know, if he never met you before, be like, oh, it's so adorable. How are you doing? It can open the door. You never know. Okay. Y'all are super aggressive. Why don't you go ahead and put that aggressive nature to good use in a feminine way?
Because the fact is, it hits different when a woman says it. So here we go. Number one, every man should not be able to access you at all hours of the night. Number two, a man is not responsible for your daddy issues. Number three, a woman having a lot of male friends is a turnoff for a man. Number four, a man's value goes beyond his wallet and status. Number five, if you want a traditional man who pays all the bills, you have to be a traditional woman who submits. Number six, mind games are not cute. It's stressful and it turns him off. Number seven, prioritize your relationship like you do your career. Number eight, your self-worth should be self-made, not man-made. Number nine, respect his need for space as much as you do your own. Number 10, relying on a man to validate your emotions is not empowerment. Find your own emotional independence. Number 11, your beauty attracts him, but your traits will keep him. Number 12, never compare your man to any other man. Number 13, men fight battles too. They just don't talk about theirs. Number 14, say what's on your mind. He's not a mind reader. Number 15, acknowledge the little things he does for you. Number 16, respect the privacy of your relationship. Number 17, don't say you forgive him just to then bring it up in every argument thereafter.
Oh, man.
He will start to resent you. Number 18, if you love him, love his flaws too. Number 19, saying I'm sorry and actually meaning it is a major turn on for him. Number 20, accountability builds his trust for you. Number 21, jealousy is not sexy. Number 22, saying it's fine when it's not will eventually, because the fact is it hits different when a woman says it. So here we go. Number one, every man.
I get a copyright for that one.
It's a couple that I helped a couple of months back in regards to the relationship, right? And I knew that it wasn't going to work. I knew it wasn't going to work, but I couldn't tell them that it wasn't going to work. I just had to do whatever I could, give them as many exercises to practice, to utilize in a relationship, to implement, to see if it could work. But I knew deep down in my heart that it probably wasn't going to work, right? And I'm only saying this because I know a lot of times women feel like they can do no wrong. And the crazy thing about it is the man is in an outstanding relationship now. And the woman, it's not. She's suffering. She's going through it. So she reached out to me, and this is a story I want to tell you guys. So she goes, Kitty, I did everything that you told me to do, blah, 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 blah. And mind you, I've talked to this man already. He's reached out to me. And everything that I taught them, everything I told them, utilize, implement, he's doing it now in the relationship that he is in. That was just the wrong woman. And I'm sorry, baby, if you see this video, I know I've already told you, you were just not the woman. So she asked me, Kitty, what did I do wrong? And I said, do you want me to be raw with you? And she said, yes. Okay. So I told her, okay. You had this princess syndrome where you felt like it always had to be me, and everything that I said went. And that if I was not right, he was not going to be happy. You belittled him. You emasculated him. I said, you didn't watch your tone. You reacted before you responded. You didn't take time to comprehend what it was that he was saying. And he heard you nagging instead of actually listening. You waited to play that number plus one game. Okay, this is a number of things that you have done to me that he's telling you. And then you say, well, this is a number of things that you have done to me plus one. You had a warped mindset to where you believe that, hey, it's going good right now, and I need a little bit of attention. So bad attention is better than no attention. Instead of understanding that now you are transitioning into a healthier space. So there's going to be peace. It is going to be serene, but you didn't know how to adapt to peace and serenity because of your chaos from your childhood and your past traumas. You brought those into this relationship and you blamed him for the mistakes of your partner. I asked her, do you want me to continue? Because the list can go on. And everything that I told you to do, as you're saying you did it, you did not. You went back to what it is that you knew. And she said, well, Kitty, can I get him back? You can't get him back. You lost him, and you should not be worrying about getting a partner back until you fix yourself. And the only way to fix yourself, as I always say, ladies, is to be accountable for your shit. And I understand it sucks when they move on, but I'm glad that he moved on because he was ready. It was the right time for him, and you were the wrong person. It was a couple that I helped a couple of months back in regards to the relationship, right? And my homegirl a couple of weeks ago, she called me during lunch. Baby, let me tell y'all something. I am a foodie. I do not like answering the phone whenever I'm eating because I love. You gotta
smash that like button.
Hot. But if I
smash that like button. Her name is Kitty Rose. If you don't know,
love you, I'll take the phone call. She's upset. She's screaming. She's crying. She's mad. She goes into why she's upset. Then she starts kind of spiraling. She starts saying, you know, I don't need him, talking about her husband. I don't need him. I can do this alone. I can leave him right now. I'm going to leave him, blah, blah, blah. All right. Each time that she had a break in that rant that she was going on, I tried to speak. She wouldn't allow me.
Shout out to my cousin for sending this over. I appreciate you. That was very sweet of her.
To speak. My friends already know. I'm the person, I don't like to therapize my friends unless I absolutely need to. But I am really big on helping people understand that sometimes when your emotions are so high, it clouds your judgment and you say very irrational things and you act irrationally. Now, granted, as I'm listening, I realized that what he did, it didn't warrant this reaction. This is something else that's going on. She's going on a deep end, okay? And like I said, I like my food to be hot. So I'm eating, I'm listening, but I really don't like to be disturbed when I'm eating. So I'm like, all right, hold on, honey. You're going to let me speak. You're going to give me a little moment. I'll let you vent. Like at this point, this is over 30 minutes. I've let you vent. I've let you get it out. Do you want me to say anything? And she's like, no. She's like, I already know what you're going to say. No, I don't want to hear that right now. Okay, that's fine. I've listened to this conversation. I've listened to you speak and run in circles. And not one time, because it seemed like every time you got quiet, you wanted me to interject. That's what it seemed like to me. But then when I did so, you started talking over me. So I told you know what? I'm going to let you figure that out. Whenever you're ready to have a conversation about this and actually work towards a solution, you can call me. But as of right now, I'm going to enjoy my food boundaries. Now, to get to the point, after a couple of days passed by, once, you know, she's kind of like resolved in her mind, her temper was better. She was able to actually process things. She calls me. Unfortunately, the damage was already done in her marriage. But she calls me and she says, I need your help. Okay. All right. Now we're working with something. Now, let me make sure that I have the capacity to be able to help you. Luckily, that day I did. So she was like, in this situation, Kitty, what would you tell a couple? Okay. The main thing is that she kept on saying that she didn't need her husband. My first go-to is, did you tell him that? Did you tell this man that you didn't need him? She says yes. Oh,
she don't need no man.
Jesus. Okay. How did that go? What was his response? He blew up. Okay, well, if you don't need me, I don't need to be here. They ended up sleeping in separate beds that night, didn't talk to each other for a couple of days. So then I asked her, okay, do you feel like you don't need him? I don't need him. I don't need him. I can do this alone. I'm independent, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. So leave him. That's not the answer I wanted, Kitty. Well, stop saying that you don't need him. You married this man. This is your partner in life. Stop telling your spouse that you don't need him. This is your husband. So if you don't know, I'm all about perspectives. So let's look at different perspectives. All right. You say you don't need your husband. All right. You got friends? Yeah. You need your friends? Absolutely, I need my friends. Okay, why do you need your friends? We go down a list. They're my support. Whenever I'm going through things, I can talk to them. We share memories. We laugh together. We go through life together. All of that. Okay. You need your friends. Do you have those same moments with your husband? I heard her smack her lips. No, let's be for real. Let's be for real. Do you not share laughter with your husband? Do you not get through life with your husband? Do you not get different perspectives and advice and support and encouragement and things like that from your husband? Yeah. In that moment, you didn't. Or am I mistaken? She goes, in that moment, I didn't. I felt like I wasn't getting the right amount of support. So you just completely cut off your husband and say you done with him. You don't need him because in a moment he had something that pushed against Or maybe in a moment he had a just whatever, just human fault, because we're human. He had a moment where he couldn't be the support that you needed. But whenever your friends can't be supportive or they're going through their own things, you don't say that you're going to cut your friends off. I hear her choke up. All right. So I'm like, all right, let me lighten up, because I hear she's crying and stuff now. You know, she's trying to hide the fact she's crying, but you can hear about her nose sniffs and all that stuff. All right. And so I'm like, all right, let me slow down with you real quick. Exactly what do you need from me right now? And she was like, tell me exactly what you would tell your couples. So I tell her, baby, men need to be needed. That's where their sense of purpose comes from. That's where a lot of their fulfillment comes from. Men are taught to be protectors, providers, problem solvers, and they want to feel valuable. And so they really need those meaningful connections. That's how they express their love and care. Now, even with these roles, it doesn't mean that they will not drop the ball. They're humans. When we speak of human element, people go through things. People have life experiences, situations that sometimes alter the way they see things. It alters their empathetic responses, but it doesn't mean that they don't care about you. It just means that in that moment, they probably can't give you the response that you actually need. So then she goes, well, why did he draw back? Why did he just walk out? Why did he just stop talking to me? Because you told him you don't need him.
X.
If he doesn't feel valued, you simply don't need him. You just hit his confidence, right? You just really took a jab at his.
Just that if you don't need him, then you don't need to be there. You go find a woman that does need him. You can't be just throwing around stuff. See, you know your words are your weapons, and you just throw them around any kind of way. A woman's words is just like a man's fist. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy out here, y'all.
His esteem. Why is he going to be motivated to do more when you just specifically
Smash
told
that
this
like
man?
button.
In other words, he's not valuable to you. I pull back then and I say, okay, let me not come from a psychological standpoint. Let me talk to you as your sister in Christ. You are a believer of God. When you married your husband, you came together under God, and God granted you that union. So now we need to make sure that we keep this union together, tight knit, even in these hard moments. We do so. That's your partner through life, through the good and the bad. Your husband is your sounding board during difficult times, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have his own difficult times. And in their nature of being strong, because that's the expectation and that's the way they've been conditioned, men don't always show that. They don't always show those moments of weakness. So from a more biblical standpoint, I said, you need your husband. Let's get into the word. I said, the word says that your husband is supposed to support and guide you and your family to faith. That is in the book of Ephesians, honey. God gave Eve to Adam. Adam needed a companion. But even when he gave Eve to Adam, they both became partners in life. They were one another's support. They loved one another. They processed and went through life with one another, regardless of what happened. You need your husband. That is your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual safeguard. He is the provider and the protector of you, your marriage, your home, baby. Ephesians 5:25 talks about your husband loving you as Christ loved the church. That's sacrificial love. What better love than sacrificial love to understand selflessness and commitment? We need that as wives. We need to experience that. We need our children to see that. Not only is he your husband, he's your children's father. He plays a significant role in the household. A father's active role in a household is important. In our household, we need support. We need guidance. We need direction that sometimes we as wives and mothers simply cannot give. And the children's father, your husband, is there for moral development. He is absolutely necessary. The word speaks on the importance of a husband and a wife's union. We need that. So she listens and she actually takes it all in. And she's like, you know what, Kay, this is why I love you. I can't stand you because you get me together, but I love you. And I say all things with love. My circle, they already know what it is. But let me tell you something. As I would tell any of my clients, when your emotions are high, your judgment is clouded. And a lot of times when we're operating from such intense emotions, we say very hurtful things that are consequential that we cannot take back. We can't take those things back. Be mindful of what you say when you are angry. Be slow to saying angry things. Those brash, hurtful things, be slow to them. And I understand that in a moment you're so upset, but baby, you got to get that together, because it's so much power in telling a man you don't need him. There's so much power in you telling your husband you don't need him. Don't let the enemy come into your marriage. First of all, don't let the enemy attack your husband, because the enemy can use you to attack and break down your husband.
Facts.
Okay? We need our significant others.
He does.
As wives, we need our husbands, and husbands need their wives. Remember that. Okay? Bye, babies. So I had a conversation with my homegirl a couple of weeks ago. She called me during lunch.
So what's up, y'all? Y'all agree? She has a good point. What do you think? You know what I'm saying? Do you think they should keep running around here saying they don't need no man, or they don't need their husbands, and then expect for us to let it go over time or later on that day? Or should they be forced to stand on business?
Your avoidant behaviors are triggering their feelings of abandonment. Come here, baby. Let me talk to you. Just think about it. Whenever you're reluctant to actually engage in discussions about feelings, you're creating emotional distance. Or whenever you withdraw from conflict, if your go-to in a crisis or in a vulnerable moment is to retreat, what do you think is happening? You're destabilizing the foundation of your relationship. And so in that sense, how can they trust you? And if they don't trust you, how can they feel secure emotionally? If they don't feel secure emotionally, if they feel like they're the ones who are doing most of the work when it's a fight or a conflict, it's just simply
what's going on, Brother James?
That makes them feel lonely. And if you're going to retreat and run away, that's going to make them feel abandoned. And in this sense, you can't say that they're just imagining this, because it's real. It's actually happening in the now. There's proof that you run whenever there needs to be a vulnerable moment or anything related to feelings. So for that person who's actually seeking that connection, your avoidance is making them feel lonely. And that feels very one-sided. It makes for a very lonely, one-sided relationship. So then this creates this emotional gap. You have one person who is seeking reassurance because you may be the person who's in.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of cope online from different women trying to make it seem like they're walking away from us and all this and that, and they have options, but yet they're still online whining about it. So, you know, they know what the deal is.
And validating them, and they're constantly pursuing you, which is causing you to run away. Do you see how this is creating conflict and chaos? Then we have this pursue withdrawal cycle that's full of resentment and tension and distress. The one thing you don't want to do is signal that you don't value that relationship, but your avoidant tendencies typically do. And it's that perception that intensifies those feelings of abandonment. Think about a person having to navigate alone, solve alone, process alone, feel alone, regulate alone. Think about that. That's kind of what you're making them do. Your avoidant behaviors and tendencies protect you, but they're not protecting your relationship. Wish you all the best. Happy, healthy relationships. Bye, babies. Your avoidant behavior.
Yes, ladies, I'm pretty sure she's talking about y'all. Avoidance. Hope you listened. You guys smash that like button.
There is a difference between silent treatment and stonewalling. I need you all to understand this. Now, they both can feel and look very similar, but it's really the intent.
Most of the time when women break up with somebody and you go back and ask them, oh my gosh, what happened? They're like, girl, he was this, he was that. I can't believe he did this. Like, what did you do? Nothing. I was perfect. Most of the time when women.
Every time, man, it never fails. Let's keep it going.
There is a difference between silent treatment and.
Realistically, if we're living together and you have no income to contribute to our finances, our household, whatever, and I have to carry that burden on my back, I can probably do that for a year until I say, okay, it's been a year. You haven't done anything, or you haven't been doing anything to get back up on your feet. You've spent a lot of time feeling sorry for yourself. And this is me just adding in, because I can't really imagine that after a year you haven't got back on your feet.
This is a unforgivable economy. People get fired and laid off every goddamn day. And that's not by that man's decision because he was being late to work or irresponsible. It's by the hand of another man that says, nah, I'm done. We don't need him. And then what? Because of the hand of another man that has now stripped his finances, the hand of his wife is now lost.
Realistically, if we're living together and you have no,
you have a lot of women who are just aiding and being the demise of their spouse. If he is down, they want to bring him all the way. If he at a level 2, they dragging him down to -5 instead of building up. The only person that's supposed to be built up in a lot of these women's minds is themselves. Oh, I'm going to use him to get as much as I can get. I'm going to use him to help me to achieve whatever it is that I want to achieve. You know, I'm going to get to a certain level. But him, if he needs me, no support there. Oh, mental health issues. Oh, I got to go because I'm not raising no man. Because at the end of the day, it's just selfishness. These women are running rampant with their selfishness and their egos and their pride and masculine energy. And each one, they're literally cheering each other on to maintain it and to keep it. How can you be surprised if he even does have somebody else? How can you be surprised? You so worried about you know, doing your thing, building your bag. You so busy in that world. Of course, there's space for somebody else to step in for him. You have a lot.
Because the fact is, it hits different when a woman says it. So here,
it's a couple that I helped.
I can't deal with you.
Yeah, I let her do it again. Shit, it's ain't no bullshit. Your ass just opened up and landed on my boy. I like that shit.
I can't deal with you.
Yeah, I let her do it again. Shit, it's ain't no bullshit.
When y'all be talking about what you won't do for your man, I can't relate. Okay, my man takes good care of home, so I'm gonna take what? Good care of him.
Hit that
So
like
if that means
button.
cooking, cleaning, doing the laundry, whatever, massaging him, you know, give him a little
This woman is always talking about giving that hawk to her. Hey, salute to her. What? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? J Monique, man, listen, she be, you know, she always talking about, boy, this woman right here, boy, she like to slob on some ride. I'm telling you.
before he go to work. I'm gonna do just that. Okay, I'm gonna do just that, baby. When y'all be talking about what you won't do for your man, I can't relate. Okay.
I've dated a lot of hoes, man, and it's not a problem until you psychoanalyze it. I think dating hoes is the best because a hoe is the greatest girlfriend you'll ever have. But they're also...
What kind of bike is this?
304.
What kind of bike is this bitch on? I want to know. Ladies, y'all need to go get y'all a bike so y'all could get thick. Because ain't no way in the fuck.
Women do not know how to communicate with men. Now, before you go damaging your phone by trying to punch me through the screen, hear me out on this. Boys learn to interact with women through their interactions with their mother, which usually goes something like this. Who's mommy's special boy? Mommy believes in you. Anything that you set your mind to, you can achieve. Now, do you think that you can help mommy bring in the groceries? Now, women, on the other hand, as girls, they learn to become women by modeling their mothers. And more often than not, their interactions go something like this. You're on the phone again? How many times do I have to tell you? No phones at the dinner table. It's like everything I say goes in one ear and out the other. So when these two individuals grow up, he is expecting to get support for his efforts while she has learned to complain in order to express her discontent. If we want to fix this.
Does this sound like some fembot mumbo jumbo to allow them to escape accountability? I don't know, but I just feel like she was just babbling in circles, and it seemed like she was trying to explain away why women are the way they are. I don't know. It kind of went over my head. You know, I'm just a D student. You know, barely got through high school. I'm just a D student. You know, I'm just a D student. Just a D student.
We as women hold the key. And when you learn to communicate your needs in a way that is soft and respectful, they will be heard. And believe me, the men who were raised well will be more than happy to step up to the challenge.
What?
Women do not know how to
No, they don't know how to communicate, and this woman doesn't either. She's a prime example of whatever she's talking about. If any of y'all can make any sense of what she just babbled and yapped about, please drop it in the comments. Leftover woman. Look at this. All the signs of leftover woman. Let's go. I'm not trying to get flagged.
One of the greatest signs of a true friend, a true brother, is when they see you winning, they fucking cheer you on.
Facts, man. You ain't gonna see too many of those.
Lord, please don't take this the wrong way, but you know I'm gonna be real all across the board, every day, all day. Every woman is looking to use a man. Shocker. Oh my God. What? Yes. If your mama didn't tell you and your daddy didn't tell you, every woman is looking to use a man. Yep. I said it. Your little bit sis said it. It is in our nature to look for providers, protectors.
Yeah, that's what you heard. But what I heard was a bunch of babbling, excusing away women's behavior, and trying to make it seem like the reason why boys are optimistic is because their mom instilled it in them. And that's a bunch of leftover older woman babbling circle talk nonsense.
Leaders, teachers, producers.
And I want y'all to understand, men don't argue with men in comment sections. So if you're over here with some digital black man face, it's not going to work with me. I'll know you're a woman trolling from a mile away with your emotional typing. Okay. So don't do no digital black man face. Okay. Don't play with me.
Yep. Every woman is looking to use a man. It's in our nature. Why? Because we need you to survive. I mean, that damn gospel song. We need you to survive. Yeah. So we need. Lord, please don't take this the wrong way.
I told you, Danica Marie, man, energy always be that. What was it, last year too?
And just spilled the beans on Jay-Z.
We don't
Coffee,
care.
spelled backwards, is EFOC, which is funny because nothing.
Have I ever heard it too?
Now, I asked one of my uncles, was it love that kept you married to my auntie? And he said, no. I ain't married your auntie because I loved her. He said, no. Love, that's too much of an emotional process. I married your auntie because she stayed on my neck. I wouldn't be the man that I am today if it wasn't for her. So I asked him about some conflicts because I love.
Y'all be careful with this kind of talk. Now, this kind of talk could be chameleon talk. Now, listen, when they keep talking about women help these men get to be their greatest version, what do they do? What do they do? Do they consistently challenge this man? Do they consistently ride him? And not in a good way, like in the bedroom, right? They thought it was their job to ride him. What were they doing with themselves? Were they staying in the gym? Were they working on their hobbies? Were they, expanding their knowledge? What were they doing? I'm just curious, because it's always about, yeah, she helped me get to wherever I am. He don't know if he got there because of her or because of whatever his family and his parents instilled in him. But they always want to just throw it on the woman. But I'm just throwing some stuff out there, just some things to think about. That's all. That's all. Running long.
Talking to men who have been in conflict, who have made mistakes, who have learned from mistakes, especially married men, and can give you an idea of how things go from a male standpoint. So he tells me about one event. He said, there was one time I really made your auntie mad. He said, I was wrong. He said, I was wrong. I made a decision without talking to her. And she was really big on standing firm on what it is that you're going to do and making sure that you communicate things with her, any decisions, because they affected our household. And he goes and tells me, he said, so she was getting on my A. He said, and I hated it. So what I did the same thing I always did, run into the bars, run into the clubs, run into the parlors, whatever I could to avoid her. He said, and I kept putting up a wall. I kept building a wall against her. And she fought and she fought and she fought to tear that wall down. And eventually the wall was defeating her. That's when I realized I was losing her. He said, every time I made her face that wall, and every time I turned my back against her, because I didn't want to hear the truth about who I was. I didn't want.
All right, man. I got enough of that. Listen, I don't listen to women talk like that. I don't hear no woman talking to me like that. I don't want that kind of talk. That kind of stuff gets in your psyche, man. That right there is her trying to solidify a woman through nothing tangible. She's solidifying a woman's place in a man's life through nothing that you can touch, taste, feel, or it's she had influence on him to become a greater man. This dude, I'm not going to talk about her uncle or whatever. I'm just talking about the fact if he's running to bars and stuff to get away from her, then he doesn't have a great decision-making process of himself. He needs to go to a woman for counsel and stuff. Listen, when you're talking about males and men, you got to put that difference in there. You know, you can't conflate the two. Okay, like we need to get a little bit of background on how level-headed this male was, so us as men can identify him as a man or a male. You don't get to do that. And then you can structure your story however you want to, but a man's going to see through the babbling. He's going to see that you're talking about a woman. A man needs a woman, and a woman's place is to counsel him and guide him and give them constructive criticism and all this other stupid ass shit that's not her job or anybody else's but the Most High. That's it. So what you sound like you're saying to me, and what a lot of these women sound like, is you want to replace the Most High and the way the Most High, you know, leads this man, and you think it's your job to do it, which is not going to work out very well. I'm telling you right now, that messed the whole order up. You can babble your way into it however you want, but you're putting a battery in his back. That's all you're doing. You're circle talking and you're doing it in a real night, but you're talking about putting a battery in a man's back and a man needing a woman to become his greatest version of himself. And he shouldn't need nobody but the Most High God, which ain't even a body, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? This is what they'll do. Now, they'll either call you sassy and imply that you don't like women at all, or they'll do this. They'll make you feel like that they need to be in your life. You gotta have them to get where you need to go. And if you don't, you're gonna fall off forever and you're never gonna get right. 2 years in, best I've ever been in my life. I'm in celibate for 2 years. 2 years. Of course, they're gonna try to come up with dumb stuff. Well, you know what I'm saying, for your son. And I don't care what you say, woman. You got multiple kids out of wedlock. You can't maintain a man. You are not married in wedlock with wedlock children. I don't care what you're babbling about. I don't care. I don't care. Okay? It is what it is. I don't care. But that's the way it is, man. You know, I move a little bit different. I can't listen to, I listen to hear what somebody's really saying, not the words that are coming out their mouth, man. You got to read between the lines. Okay? And that's all that was, telling you that a woman's place is so detrimental in a man's life that you best not never let a good one go, because you'll never become the best version of yourself if you don't have her. The fuck up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Not playing these games. Not playing these games. What's going on here? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's all that she's saying is just, you need a woman to make you better. You'll never become the greatest version of yourself without her. You know what I'm talking about, man. And you guys got to be careful of that stuff, because they'll mix some good stuff in there that sounds nice, but it don't mean nothing, right? Like, what is she doing? Is she teaching us a skill? She's sitting us down. She's teaching us a craft. You know what I mean? She's doing something in the home that we can observe and we can learn from. You know, what is she doing that's tangible? What is she doing that we can touch, taste, or feel? Not some crap that it's like, there's something in the air. Her aura. It's divine feminine energy in the air, which means now I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it, man. Just tired of it. It's getting old. Played out. Yeah, man. We're just gonna look. They got it. Look. They got to find a purpose for themselves. And if you know you can do everything without them, then they are lost, man. They ain't got no way to, live. Really. They need us, but they're too egotistical to say it. So they got to make you feel like you need them. Ain't that some narcissistic? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all, I'm not going to hold y'all. I got to get a Taco Bell. Love and light, y'all. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Go ahead and share the live stream. Of course, this video is going to be chopped up and repurposed across all 4 of my YouTube channels. You already know that. So, make sure that you catch those videos and support whenever you see them go out. I appreciate everybody that joined. James, you know what I'm saying? A real one. Everybody else that joined, who else we got up in here? Dark Green, J Lock. I appreciate all of y'all doing your thing, Wolfpack. Let's get it. Let's go. Be back on here later on, y'all. Love and light. I'm your brother, and I'm out.